Well, I feel like they've given us a chance. I feel like the last two series, every game we've had a chance to be successful. And so I think this will be the third or fourth week with really this rotation intact. I think it's good again for another weekend where the lefty starters match up pretty good. I think Bauman and Myers, hopefully, we think from preparation can match favorably and be competitive this weekend. So that's exciting, and I thought that the start Watts had game one was definitely his best and arguably one of the best. Him and Myers, I think Myers a week before going 6 innings and start for in a 7-inning game, and then Watts having 9 strikeouts, no walks, and hopefully they can solidify us these last 3 weeks if we're talking about making a move and getting to the point of just getting a game or playing competitive ball. It seems like with our pitching we went non-competitive to competitive, still getting heart broke a little bit, but maybe that's a step you got to make to get on the right side of things and start really having a chance to consistently win every day. So hopefully we've taken that journey and that's what that would produce these last 3 weeks, is these guys being consistent, staying in there, and giving us a chance to win these last 3 series, starting this one for sure.
Ryan? Update on Mike Kyers. How's he doing? Chance he plays? How about Mike Houston?
Yeah, we're Bobby's been on there. It's just been whether he can swing or not. Bobby did have 2 at-bats. With it being exam week, we did a Tuesday, not having the midweek game. We did a 5-inning inter-squad out here to get some pitchers some work, and definitely like Pierce and Irish some at-bats. So they both participated. I would think 100% Irish would be in there. What capacity could be from a DH standpoint. His most recent challenge is coming off an ankle, but he's running well and swinging the bat well. I even think he's swinging it better than he did with his hands. So I think with more distance there, being with the hand injury, that Ike's good. It's just what he can do running around the ballpark on his ankle. Bobby did have 2 at-bats, but did not participate on the field yesterday, so I still think there's some lingering, hey, I fight through a couple at-bats and then it cost me a day or 2. So I'm really hopeful for Ike to be back in the lineup this weekend. Mason Maynard's got back in last week, and I think Bobby's day-to-day, I think he'll definitely be on the 27-man. You just saw the last couple of weeks he's been in there defensively. But he could play in a game and could have a few at-bats. I'm not sure you could expect to have him for the entire weekend.
Because obviously getting some of those guys back will help. But you talked about the pitching becoming more competitive as that started to happen. You guys hit below 200 in the last two seasons. Is that frustrating that they not have that all be pieced together to have one thing get better and one progress at the same time?
Well, I think that's part of how you find where we're at as a team, just not getting enough wins in SEC play when we were swinging it pretty good, but the pitching, the team just hadn't hooked up from a standpoint. We played 4 games last week, I think, without an error, but we had a starting lineup Saturday, and not to make excuses, just protection for the guys now that we've had taken on some of these injuries. These aren't just guys; these are 3 everyday pieces for us, or expected to be everyday pieces, and were everyday pieces. But we had 5 guys in the lineup, starting lineup, with less than 10 RBI, 6 guys with less than 100 bats for the entire season. So it's like when we get one thing going, we've had a challenge here, and when the challenge gets better here, then we created a new challenge. And I just think that's why you've seen us not been able to capture a series, so to speak. We just haven't met at the same time. And I think a few weeks back I was talking about I just want to see our team play its best baseball. And good start to the season. We talk about the 18-4 versus the conference record, non-conference to conference. But, we played okay early. We talked about all the challenges going into SEC play that we would have to overcome. Some of those became a reality. But the injuries positionally it was horrible timing for that to happen. Hopefully this weekend, if we can get guys back enough, then then hopefully I'd like to. I'm still fighting for 3 weekends for us to play our best baseball. The positives have been all these young guys getting some playing time. But again, Guevara's now 7 months off of that ACL surgery. You know, you can just go around the field where we've been banged up. But you know, Strickland and Cade Ballew's kind of leading us in some stuff right now offensively. Some of this will pay dividends at some point down the road, especially for some of our pitching, the way Cam Tilley's throwing the baseball. Dylan Watts being in there now as a sophomore, that leads to something positive moving forward. We found some anchors to hold on in some of these young guys that got experience maybe before they were supposed to. And that'll help us at some points. Hopefully it's now, but nonetheless, whenever we get there, that'll help us transition to get ready for next year for sure.
Butch, you mentioned, Cale Strickland, and even Carter Wright. Having those guys, how much does that help to not have to throw Ike Iris back in where he's playing a position where you can slide into the DH role if you need to, you still feel good about those spots?
Yeah, they've done a great, amazing job. Wright's really done some stuff with the bat. Strickland's been competitive with the bat. It's been a lot of singles. Cooper Wright's had a couple of extra base hits, but I think that's why you see at the highest levels of baseball, man, if you can hit 215 and catch great pitching and make pitching great, because this whole thing's built around pitching, that you have a job. And both of those guys have thrown the ball well. People hadn't run on them, or when they have, they've been successful, been able to throw those guys out. They've received our pitching staff really good. And really with a lot of this uptick with where we've gotten a little bit better on the mound, they've been behind home plate receiving it. So Strickland has a good advanced feel as a defensive catcher, and Carter Wright's a senior, but has the same type of feel. Those two guys have absolutely done an amazing job, especially defensively overall.
But you may have mentioned this before I stepped in, but do you approach each series here, the last three, sort of like tournaments, sort of like little mini tournaments, that kind of approach, or have you thought about that?
Well, this is our postseason. I announced that 2 weeks ago, and that's in the same harmony with what you're talking about. Like, this is our postseason. So I don't know if we got to go 7-2, 8-1, or 9-0 to get to Hoover. It depends on others, and our hole's a little bit deeper than everybody else that we're even feel like are in striking distance. So we know we have to play way above average baseball and try to hook it up. But yeah, this is our postseason because nothing's guaranteed. So it's landed on us in the moment, and I don't think that's a problem or a poor message to send to a team. These guys are aware. They see everything out there. They know this stuff before we even can speak it. And we can just speak it on our own terms to make sure we're all on the same page. But these guys know what's going on and what they're playing for these last 3 weeks.
Yeah, Mason Manners looked a little rusty when he came back last weekend. Did you see him maybe a little bit sharper in the scrimmage y'all had?
It was okay, about the same. I think we've all learned a lesson when we had 3 hand injuries, and it's different than other parts of the body because it's holding the bat, chasing the swing, and you can just imagine, man, trying to put that thing through and contact hurts the most, or maybe even swing and miss hurts even more. But the timing, the swings were definitely affected. I can see it with Ike the first time going through it with the hand that affected his at-bats. Mason affected his at-bats. Ike's on time because I think the hand's better and he had the ankle. So I think the ankle is a lot easier to deal with in other parts of the body than when it's the hand. So we'll be evaluating that closely because I think we have been reminded that that hand's a tough one, and even though you can pull off a swing now, the timing and everything that's associated with that's a little more complicated and complex.
Going back, just for him to, these past couple of weeks really kind of look like he's settling into that start. Being a guy who, he came in as a junior All-American, as a setup closer relief guy. Just what does it say about him that he's able to kind of shed the whole notion of like identity or role and just be malleable and go to that start?
Yeah, I think he keeps building out too. So I thought last week was the first time he didn't look like a 2-pitch reliever starting a game, and that's a tough challenge for the job and task that we asked him to do. Last week it was Tommy White and Jones right behind him, the two righties. Right before them was a lefty, and right behind him was a lefty. And I saw a lot of changeups come into play. It's amazing how his arsenal is even developing week in and week out. So that's what this will do for you. This league will absolutely sharpen you, develop you, and grow you as you're going through the journey. And I think I've seen that with Dylan to seeing now. It's like, all right, now he's got 3 pitches going. But shaping the slider, we talked about Chase Alsop, his growth and development. A little bit more control and command came from being able to keep a fastball down and away. I thought Dylan's first couple of starts, that fastball kind of would not stay in the lane and leak back to the middle, and it would get a big swing off by the opponent. I think now he's like relaxed, not trying to overdo too much and allowing that baseball to stay in the lane. Not just throwing a good slider, but even when he gets up in the count, being able to bounce the slider if he gets to that out in front of a count. So I'm just seeing him pitch more and more each week, and I want to see that continue. I know you can have a challenge or two along the way, but I'm seeing more arsenal, but I'm really seeing more pitchability come to the forefront now that he's being asked to, not get us 3 to 6 outs, but turn a lineup over once or twice, and that growth's been fun to watch. Thank y'all.